Welcome. In front of me is an iPhone 14 Pro, and today I will show you how you can go through the setup of this device. So when you boot it up for the first time, you should be presented with the previous screen, which was the welcoming page, where it just displays welcome in all kinds of different languages. And when you go to the next page, you will then be able to choose your actual language. So from here, I'm going to choose mine. Then you can select your country or region. I think this will only define time zone, if even that. So you know what, I'm just gonna stick with France. It's whatever. Now this will then give us some quick start. So bring your current iPhone or iPad near this iPhone to sign in and set up. That seems like a neat feature that I didn't actually know. So yeah, you can just kind of do that. But if you don't have one, you can set it up manually. So written and spoken languages, you can choose them right here. Written refers to keyboard, and spoken or preferred language, this just displays the language of the system. So obviously English as I selected, and French, I'm not really sure what it's gonna show in French, but whatever. So I'm gonna select continue. And here comes the annoying part where we need to connect to Wi-Fi. Now it's not an option, you literally need to connect to network, no matter what. It's the stupidest effing thing that Apple does, and yeah, just screw you if you don't have a network near you. And yeah, so just gonna connect to mine quickly, because it's not like I have a choice not to do it. Now another way you can do it is by plugging it into your computer, which again needs connection to network, but I'm pretty sure everybody's computer has connection to network nowadays, so yeah. Now to be completely honest, I have no freaking idea what it is activating right now, considering this device was already set up before, so there shouldn't be any problem second time around. It's not locked, it wasn't locked, so this page is just annoying to be honest. But anyway, on the next page we have some data and privacy. I guess iPhone is probably the only company that can give that statement with a straight face, unlike every other company that just spies on you, but Apple I don't think is any different. You can obviously go through this and read exactly. Oh, that's actually apparently the entire, oh never mind, there we go, learn more. So here we have entire list of different things that are data and privacy policy claims to do. So anyway, you can read all of this if you want to. As you can see, there is quite a lot of it. From there, select continue. And this will bring us to Face ID. So here, if you're planning to set up a Face ID, you also need to set up a PIN. I think that's the only thing you can set up. Obviously, if you don't want to, you can set it up later. Now we only have a choice between PIN and Face ID. Well, technically, if you're planning to use Face ID, you always also have to have PIN, like I mentioned. And you do have a passcode options, which will allow you to choose from a couple different options. So we have custom alphabetical code, custom numeric code, 4-digit code, and don't use at all. So we have basically password, the 6-digit or 4-digit, and that's it. Or don't use. Now on the next page we have the option to restore our device from a backup, so we can restore it from iCloud backup, from Mac or PC if you ever created one on your computer. Transfer directly from iPhone, so if you have another device. I think this would also work if you had like an iPad or something else, but I might be incorrect. And you can also do it from an Android device, though this would require you to download some kind of special application that they use for this. And the last option just allows you to set it up as new. Now moving on to the next page, we have the Apple ID, aka iCloud. And obviously most of you will sign into it, because without this you won't be able to download any kind of applications from the App Store, and a lot of the features are kind of locked behind being forced into logging into this. So do so to basically have access to a lot of things. I'm not gonna go through it, just because it doesn't really matter to me. So for people that might not want to log into it, you can click right here, forget password, or don't have an Apple ID. So obviously you can create one right here if you don't have it, but you can also select right here, set up later in settings, to not sign in right now in the setup. Obviously we have terms and conditions, no phone can go without this, so select agree. Keep your iPhone up to date. So get the latest features, security and improvement automatically. It's not like we have an option here, so I guess we're just gonna select continue. iMessage and FaceTime, I guess you can set it up right here by selecting continue. I think that just enables it, but I'm gonna select not now. Location services, so GPS tracking for apps, disable location services. This will give you, I think, a little bit of a better battery life. But obviously, if you're using something like navigation on your phone, if it still will show you navigation in any kind of way, it might not be as precise. So you might want to keep that on if, for instance, you use your iPhone as a GPS navigation. But like I said, I think turning it off will give you a better battery life, so there we go. And obviously you can also change it later on if you want to use it. Set up mobile services. So I think this is just popping in a SIM card. You can transfer iPhone number from a nearby. Yeah. So this is like I said, SIM card, though it's kind of weird considering I guess this will apply to majority of the people in US, or majority, all of them that are using iPhone right now, because as far as I'm aware, iPhone 14 sold in US has no SIM tray. So the one that I have right here obviously has a SIM tray. So this isn't as important to me. Come on, focus. But I can see there's my SIM tray, so I can pop in a normal physical SIM card. For everybody else that is setting up this device in US, you have only option to use the eSIM. So you need a QR code that you can copy from your old device to virtually import a digital version of your SIM card or transfer from nearby iPhone. So yeah, whichever option will work for you. But I'm not planning to use a eSIM, so I'm gonna set it up later. In settings, skip. This will then bring us to the next page, which is screen time, just a bunch of statistics. I don't really care for that. iPhone analytics, information that you can share with iPhone on how you use your device, or information you share with Apple. There we go. Select don't share. Appearance, obviously choose light or dark, and then display zoom. So the only difference here is the size of applications and notifications. You can see that they do increase a tiny bit in size between zoomed and standard. Choose whichever one you want. Obviously, if you're a little bit like visually impaired, then zoomed option might be a little bit better for you. But for the typical user, I think standard is good enough. We have emergency SOS, so iPhone is ready to help in an emergency. Obviously we can't do anything here, so let's select continue, and this finishes up the setup. So let's just swipe up, and as you can see, we are now on our home screen. So with that being said, this was a relatively quick guide on how you can go through your setup of your phone. And if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.